Welcome to the Asbestos Knowledge Empire.
What does asbestos management mean to you?
I used to really struggle with the asbestos management at my site, but now it's a breeze.
It used to be really expensive. I was paying loads, but now I've got my asbestos power team in place. It's so much easier.
Asbestos can be a pain in the arse if not handled right.
We had to stop the job because asbestos was discovered. Now we don't have that problem.
Asbestos management is easier than you think. Asbestos management. Be proactive, not reactive. Think about asbestos first, not last.
And now your hosts, best-selling authors and asbestos experts, Ian Stone and Neil Munro.
Welcome to the Asbestos Knowledge Empire. I'm Ian Stone.
And I'm Neil Munro.
So today we're talking about all that glitters isn't gold.
Random title.
It is a random title. We're not talking about fool's gold. No, we're talking about things that you need to look out for and be careful of when you're employing companies to help you with asbestos.
Yeah, kind of the importance of checking who runs them, who's at the top.
Yeah, it is. It's all part of the due diligence that you should do. So there's the basic stuff in there, like checking insurances, checking accreditation, checking that the staff that are coming to do your surveys or the analytical works have actually got that experience in doing that. But it's about the head honcho. Are they the right people in place as well?
Yeah. Why is that important? Because asbestos is a little bit different, isn't it, than normal organisations. There's specific guidelines and really it's experience as well. That's probably the most important thing. It's kind of the person at the top of the organisation who's making the decision, who's steering the organisation on how they work and how their internal policies. It's not just down to the actual quality side of it. It's actually the direction and the culture within that business.
It's not just the culture in the business, it's the culture of the business.
Yes.
It's like how they actually want to deal with asbestos. And there's companies out there that are cheap as chips and kind of a bit smash and grab or want to do a cheap service, but you kind of get a cheap, nasty service. And there's companies out there that want to turn every single project into a champagne project for them, in the sense of everything needs to be gold plated. Everything is at that kind of highest level, and perhaps for no actual reason for that.
So what kind of stuff do you think we need to be looking for to identify that?
To kind of get the right expertise, they need to be qualified.
Yes.
First and foremost, they've got to be qualified for the industry. I don't personally see how somebody within the asbestos industry can come and run a business without having that asbestos insight and knowledge.
Yeah. And people might argue, but I can employ people to do that. Can't I? That would be, the first point of argument would be, well, I don't need that because I've got quality managers, I've got quality people who are actually more qualified than me to obviously do that element. But we're kind of coming at the angle of, that's good and you do need that. But it's just having that hierarchy who has the final decision. The final decision maker has an asbestos background, has asbestos experience, and is suitably asbestos qualified.
Like you say, ultimately, they're the ones that are leading how that business operates. And if you've got somebody non-industry, in other industries, they normally bring in money men or
MDs or new CEOs. From outside the industry,
exactly.
Into it.
But they've usually got a skill set which is accountancy based or customer focused based and things like that, and they'll turn a business into a better version of that. Yeah. Whereas you can't do that with asbestos because it's so complex, and the way that asbestos is dealt with, you need that insight to be led from the top down because it affects not only how the companies run and their standards and how they want to deal with it, but it's essentially how everything operates within the asbestos realm of that business. It's how the staff go out onto site, the men and women that go and do the asbestos surveys. It bleeds down into that finite detail of how many samples to collect on a survey, what they should be sampling for, what not to sample for. And when you haven't got that experience from the top down, basically the bottom up starts leading, and that's no good because each person's got their own individual thing.
Yeah, and the key thing for me is having that role model as well.
Yeah, definitely.
That hierarchy role model, somebody to look up to, and somebody to obviously instill all that experience from the top down. Is really key and really important.
That is important, because if you're an employee at a business and you think, right, well, one day I would like my boss's job, and your boss is in...
Is that what you did?
Did I want that? No, I did not. I did at one place. Yeah. That's a different story.
Was it an anti-role model?
Yeah, no. And do you know what? No, you're right, you bang on. And that's...
An anti-role model.
Yeah, that's it. Everything that we do at Acorn, it's kind of the best bits of what I've learned, and try to not do the worst bits. Having that role model there, if you're just starting out in your career and you're thinking, where can my career go? And you look at the food chain of the business, and the top person in that business is from outside your industry, it's kind of like, well, where the hell can I actually get to then?
Yeah.
That's a really good point.
Moving on from that, other stuff that we can, something to be wary of, or if you are looking at companies as a subject for this podcast, kind of we want to speak about false guarantees, which comes in and around same sort of structure, isn't it?
It's a funny one. I mean, there's false guarantees and there's kind of so what statements.
Yes.
Yeah, and that's the thing. It's like when you think about what some companies spout and say, on the face of it, it sounds amazing. But when you actually scratch the surface, it's like, yeah, no, but of course you would do that, or so what that you do that.
No, that's a minimum, and that's an expectation as a minimum. So to give you an example, if there's a problem, we'll solve it.
Yeah.
Really?
I should think so.
I should bloody think so. So if your work's going to cause a problem, you're telling me you're going to fix it.
Yeah, that's obvious, right?
Thank you for that.
We can help you in an emergency. I should think so. It's like...
That's a standard thing in the asbestos industry, isn't it?
Exactly. Asbestos issues happen, and the fact that you're using that as marketing to say that we can help you in it's like, no shit, Sherlock, that's why I'm coming to you.
Yeah. We're professional. That's a brilliant one, isn't it?
That is a good one. We're professional. Okay, yeah. Oh, I'm going to choose you because all the other guys are not professional.
Yeah. We'll sort your asbestos.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
I should bloody think so.
Yeah, I'm coming to an asbestos consultancy for help, and you're going to sort it. Okay, thanks.
We're licensed. You've got a HC license. Well, legally, you've got to have that for doing license work. So I should bloody think so.
Yeah, exactly. We'll do a good job. Yeah. That's always a good one. We'll do a good job. Oh, okay. Oh, so you're not going to do a crap job? Okay, that's fine. And then, I don't know, we'll do, what else? There's another one.
Do some quality work.
We'll do quality and safe work. It's madness. It's like, yes, I should think so. So it's kind of, on the face of it, those statements do sound good, and it's what you're looking for in a company. But when you're looking at their marketing and reading their material and you're speaking to them, the fact that they tell you that they're the best doesn't mean they're the best. Just because they say those statements, it's kind of, you need to see through those statements of what's the real deal here, what are they actually providing, what kind of information can you get from them, how can you work with them. That's more important to me than like I say, all that glitters isn't gold, the shiny little statements. They're like magpie statements. Go after something little shiny, it's like a nice little soundbite. But when you break that soundbite down, it's kind of bollocks at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Because they're all things that you should be getting.
As a minimum.
As a minimum.
These are all minimum statements.
Exactly.
My eyes. Yeah, definitely. Oh, I hope you found that useful. Just a little episode, just some of the frustrations we're kind of experiencing and come across.
Yeah, just wanted to give you an insight, because that's the thing. From being in the industry, we obviously see a lot going on, and we speak to people from outside the industry. And these are some of the frustrations that they've said to us of things that they've seen and marketing has been sent to them and things like that. And when they've actually sat back and thought about it, it's kind of a bit silly. And then when they've done their own homework and they've looked further in depth at those businesses, they've discovered that, like I say, that the top people aren't from the industry, and it didn't sit right with them. And for me, I have to agree with them that you need to be leading top down with that asbestos expertise. It's so different to any other industry and business, but it needs that kind of real, true expert at the top. So I hope you enjoyed that podcast. Remember, asbestos first, not last.